YouTube. And there it is. Yeah, I actually have to see if I can. I gotta pull up the serum still because I did not. I'm missing. There's like one thing I'm missing, which is a bummer. It's like a couple of your harmonies from Physical Ram. Come on.
Come on.
All right, we are live. So let me just. No, that's not it. Main base serum. Perfect. Make active because I want to play it. We are. Oh yeah, let me see. We got one person. We got two people.
Woohoo.
We are going to 3. Oh my God. How high can we go? We got 4. Twitch is going. YouTube. Hello, everybody. A little message over here. I'll have to tell you more about my stream last night later. It was fun. It was actually really fun, but it was different. All right, we got a few people. I'm gonna start this video, which I lost.
It's a cold, cold night and you're pulling me back into bed. You said, don't leave just yet. It's past that time for goodbyes, but you're pouring more wine than me. You had my keys. The only reason that you hold me is that you're scared of being lonely. Don't even try to get to know me. You only want me for my body heat. Body heat. Half asleep, think you got
All right.
confused.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Wednesday session breakdown. And today, Lauren is here.
Hello.
I need to get sound effects.
You know, you're reaching that point. It's that point in quarantine where you should have sound effects.
You know, because I feel like I got to keep upping the production value, and I've been slacking. So I'm sorry, everybody.
You do what you can. It's okay.
Do what I can. How are you, Lauren? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm moved into a new apartment and,
Oh my God.
you know, just got a new TV today. So, like, as far as life goes, it's about as good as it can be presently.
You're on the back end of the moving process, which is the nice part. You're now getting settled.
Exactly. Nesting.
That's awesome. New TV. Did you go big? You go small? Would you? You don't have to tell everyone here. That's kind of personal.
We got a good one.
Nah.
Because we're watching it all the time, you know? I mean,
If there was ever a time to have a nice TV, it is now.
yeah.
So you can watch our streams.
Exactly.
Well, if you were just tuning in, guys, on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, we are doing a session breakdown today of Body Heat, one of the singles from our last LP, Full Bloom. This one's particularly fun because it's one of the most, I would say, boppin', dancey tracks we've ever done. And it's certainly one of the most fun tracks, I think, to play live. Probably.
Yeah, I think we really just kind of, we evolved the song to play live, and it was always a blast.
I really, for those of you that have seen us live, we added a synth solo, a very obvious synth solo that I now miss. You know, I don't often have regrets with recordings, but I have a pretty big regret with this song. Like, that synth solo would have been, although it really hits people live. You see us live, get ready for that synth solo. It's a whole
it's a
thing.
special thing. It's only for people we see in real life, which is, you know, fewer and fewer these days.
Yeah, it's a thing that used to happen.
Yeah.
Well, if you've seen us live, as you tune in, or those of you already watching, let us know. Let us know if you've ever seen that synth solo, because it's something. Lauren, do you want to kind of tell the backstory of this one a little bit and where we wrote it?
We wrote this one in LA, and we wrote it with a songwriter called Amy Cooney. And gosh, how did we even... I had just written body heat down in my lyric notebook, just like as a phrase that I thought was interesting to think about, because it can mean different things. And then, so I think honestly, like we gave that to Amy, and she kind of really, like, her brain just works in this really quick way, and she kind of like conceptualized it in the room, and we wrote it in a day.
This was probably one of the quickest. That was kind of a... So I know I've mentioned this previous weeks, but I'm sure in interviews and stuff, but we wrote a lot of the last record in LA, actually, in a really great just little Airbnb in Highland Park that had a piano. It was like the perfect setting for us to be able to just, like, you know, it was basically just like a writing retreat, but in LA, so we could still work with other people. We could still go get tacos, that kind of thing. But I remember you did a similar thing with, like, Slow Motion too. You kind of had these phrases down, and then we sort of constructed ideas with a few different people, which is cool. But yeah, Amy was great. I think we wrote this one in like 2 or 3 hours, and I'll actually play the original demo.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was piano to begin with, Lauren. It was just piano. So here's the original. I don't know what happens later, but we wrote a lot of this that first day.
It's a cold, cold night and you're pulling me back in a bed. You said, don't leave just yet. It's past that time for goodbyes, but you're pouring more wine in me. You had my keys. The only reason that you hold me is that you're scared of being lonely, lonely. Don't even try to get to know me. You only want me for my body heat. Is that all you want from me? Body heat, is that all you want from me? When you're begging me not to leave you, I know it's skinny if I see you. Body heat, that's all you want from me.
Wow, we even had that hook.
Yeah.
So then it was just second verse and repeat. But yeah, that demo, as you can see, was not that far off actually from where it ended up becoming. It's pretty cool. It's always funny pulling up these old demos, especially not every one of these I have fully prepared as well as others. But I was like, I don't know what's going to happen now, how good this is going to sound. Because sometimes, sometimes you write a song, you get a quick demo out, and it's kind of rough.
Totally.
Not that one.
But that sounded good.
That sounded really good. So we had, I think this song kind of focused around a few different things. Obviously, there was a strong concept to begin with, and I think that always makes the lyrical portion, the content, the actual, story and concept very strong. And then the music was fun on this one because we really, I think, centered it around that cool bass line, which, I don't think we have another song quite like this one where there's so much movement in the bass part against almost like a simpler vocal part, So I wanted to break that down a little bit, and then we'll kind of get into the nitty-gritty of the session. But it really kind of centered all around. I forgot originally what the sound was, but it ended up being quite a few layers, which is this original Juno. And then a silent bass. This might have been the original sound. And then the serums, which I think ended up being the main meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes?
That's right.
It's the same. So I wanted to show a little bit of that. I am very excited and proud. Oh, hold on. Oh, please don't freeze. Don't freeze. We haven't had a freeze yet in any of these session breakdowns, but today could be a first.
Knock on wood.
Oh, it's just not being sent. Hold on. There we go. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, no.
That doesn't sound good.
It's not happy with this.
Body heat,
Yeah, that's... Hold on. Guys, I'm going to need to just quickly... Just going to open the session again for y'all. I think this should...
You know, yeah, this used to happen with me in Pro Tools all of the time.
This is a really big session. Oh,
Session.
it's so not going to let me play it, huh? My whole entire plan is thwarted. Hold on. Let's just see. Oh my God. So Lauren, what's new?
Well, I was going to say, I think actually the instrumentation of this, how we started it, was influenced by, I want to say it was maybe like Sigrid. Does that sound familiar? Like there was like
Yes.
like we were really trying to do like a bloopy kind of bass line with a vocal, and like that was kind of it. Like we were trying to keep it pretty minimal, I think, if I can remember
Yeah,
what
and
we were, where we started.
I remember talking also as well about trying to make it a bit more like retro minimal, you know,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
way, which, yeah, I remember Sigrid being a reference. I forgot what was the name of that song. I mean, she had a bunch of that first record had such a vibe.
Yeah.
Waiting for video operation to complete. So yeah, guys, this is a big session that's not happy now, but let's see if this does the trick, and if it doesn't, I can open the simpler session. I should just hope I don't have anything embarrassing on my desktop.
Some lyrics there.
Just
Oh,
some
those are the body heat
lyrics.
lyrics.
It's probably just boring stuff. Bunch of JPEGs, image tape stuff. Okay, it's restoring now. If you're just tuning in, this is Paul and Lauren from Savoir. You're joining us for our session breakdown of Body Heat. We will be back to that soon. Right now we're in just we're doing like a little comedy routine. That's that's what you're watching right now. Here it comes though. I might open, if this keeps happening, I'll just open a simpler session. It was fine earlier, but I think once you're like capturing the screen and streaming the audio, and it's a lot to
Yeah.
ask of a computer, you know?
Stresses it out.
The computer's like, give me a break. I'm a computer.
Yeah, and it's hot outside.
It's so hot. My computer is doing that thing where it's like, you know,
Yeah.
the fan. It's going for it. If you guys have any questions at all, especially now, please let us know. We got our chat windows open. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. Here we go.
Gosh, what's the body heat goss? Nothing.
Look at the
Nothing
lyrics
really
right here.
exciting, I guess.
We could talk about. Okay, let's see if this. Skip all. Oh my God! Did it just make that sound again? Holy moly!
You can try changing the. I don't know what to do, but
Oh, it's working now. I am going
great.
to not show you. Actually, what I'm going to do is this. Because this will be simpler. Oh my God. Come on, computer. I really jinxed myself by saying that thing, because we just
Yeah,
never...
you certainly did.
We've just been very lucky with these. Let me just... Oh my God. I can't hit any of the other things. Real quick. Bear with us, y'all. Thanks for your patience as we figure this all out. I think I, after all, won't be able... Hold on one second. Hopefully this does the trick. Just going to print a couple things.
So I don't know. Is it helpful to explain what you're doing? So you're printing these things so that they'll play back easier, so that you don't have to use the
Right. The DSP. There's some sort of glitch. This was, Pez Cassette on YouTube says, this was one of the first things I heard from you two in London at the Midnight Show. Seems like forever ago. It does feel like forever ago.
It feels like a lifetime ago.
That show was so awesome.
So
Gosh.
so good. Think about it almost every day, like a show on that tour.
It's so true. So,
Just especially now.
what Lauren was saying before, too, is what you guys are seeing right now is the hardest part of a session often is this last step when it's just, there's so much going on. I'm going to delete some files right now. This might help a little bit. I'm going to remove all the files I don't need. There's apparently... Okay, that already feels like it helped. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this now. All right, I can do it, guys. Drum roll, please.
Ew.
Oh, there's my keyboard camera. So, very exciting. I'll show you guys how to play the chorus bass part, which is just all octaves starting on E flat. I'm gonna go look. Not my best performance. But it's all just basically octaves of E flat, F, and A. So that's it. And I got a camera just for that. And it's gone now.
You can demo the synth solo later.
Exactly. We'll do the synth solo. We'll go through everything. Hello we have people tuning in from Chile and Budapest. Hello, guys. All right, a bunch more you just joined in. We were having some technical fun problems with this massive session, but we are back and we're talking about body heat. So yeah, I mean, the session with Amy, we had a lot of this down. We had the basics, we had the simple bass line, and then we talked about this in previous weeks too in terms of having fun with layering, and especially this bass part. I think we had a lot of fun because it really was just originally one layer. And then we ended up getting it to this, which is a combination of Serum, which is a soft synth, Silent, which is another one, and then a Juno, which was recorded on the actual Roland Juno, which is over there to my right. And it sounds like this. Just kind of a nice woody combination of synths, you know. It was harder, honestly, to kind of incorporate that live, especially because of, you know, a part like that is kind of, it is performed, but it's also pretty metronomic in terms of its rhythm.
You need it to be a little bit like a computer.
I think that Midnight Tour, for example, which Pez Cassette mentioned, we went through a bunch of different sort of combinations, and I think, yeah, Lauren, the first show in Oslo, I tried to play that without anything in the track, and it was not. It's just hard to play. And then also I'm like, you're sweating and you're dancing, and then all of a sudden you're like, bump, bump, bump. It just doesn't work. It sounded terrible, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, like we said, was like kind of already structured out from our first writing session. And the big challenge with it was sort of, okay, now we need to figure out how to make this thing complete and big sounding and special. And we did a bunch of editing. And one thing that was fun too is we changed the bass line, I think, from the first chorus to the next, which it's not something we always do, but it kind of made sense with the timing of the two. There's kind of two hooks in this song. There's Body Heat, which is just the phrase that comes in this first chorus.
For my body heat.
And then sort of the bass line taking over. And then there's the body heat followed by the sort of chorus melody.
For my body heat. Is that all you want from me? Body heat. I think you're using me. Well, you're begging me not to leave you. I know it's gonna be if I see you. Body heat.
So it was fun to change the bass lines up between those two sections, which I don't think we did maybe the first writing, but we did later. And yeah, I wish I could show you all the layers of the soft synth, but the computer was very upset when I tried to do that, so I'm not going to do that again. Shall I talk about the drums?
Yeah, do it.
The drums were fun on this one. It was definitely like layers, trying to find the right balance of, you know, you don't want to overlayer, but you also want to have enough to kind of maintain interest. And that was a challenge with this song because it originally was just, you know, very much just centered around a 4 on the floor kick drum. and then the pre-chorus, which has that really interesting sort of 808 sub bass feel. So what you're hearing there is actually a lot of it is just mirroring what the sub bass is playing, which I'll bring it in here. This is the 808. But even from let me take it from the top. This is the top with the Juno and just a kick drum. This is basically the bass of it. And there's a bass line as well. And then the sub kick. Big old kick drum. So there was a lot of really fun layers, and actually one of the last things that we did was add, because it was feeling a little mechanical, we ended up adding these drums down in Douglas Studios. So here's kind of the main beat there, which is just a kick drum squashed. But then second half of the chorus, which added on top of the rest of the drums. I always recommend this if you're going for some sort of a hybrid approach to drum production. You know, record a live drum set, but treat it in a way that it's not competing with the electronic elements. So, like, for example, that drum set has no information below 500 hertz. So once it hits that solo, that big build section, nothing is competing. That's basically all the drums. Oops. Now it's all the drums. And it keeps things more impactful because, you know, often the inconsistencies in a real drum kit, what makes those special is the mid-range more so than the low end. Unless you are just having a kick, just a acoustic kick drum, then it's different. But it's really just fun layers of all that. And then the ending has some open hi-hats and some noise. Some big claps. And all the bass. So that's really the basis of it. And in terms of processing and stuff, you know, a lot of it again just comes down to layering in the right way and picking the right samples. But it's about clearing space for each thing. So, you know, even in the basis of the kick, you know, I'll show you what is just the electronic elements. I have a crunch kick, snap kick, crunch kick 2, which is really just like a little mid-range thing, heavy hip-hop kick. This one I probably have too many layers.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so how many kicks are playing at one time?
In this song, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And
that seems crazy.
Oh, wait, hold on. Extra kick weight down here. 7. And the truth is, it is too many. And what's probably happening, and this is just what happens sometimes when I'm building out a part, I just kind of go with the flow, and often that means I make mistakes. So I bet a bunch of these kicks, the phasing, are making them sound weaker. And so as they were getting weaker, I was then adding more on to make it stronger again. Just trial and error. Like, I bet you could mute half of these kick drums and it would sound the same. It's just the truth. And, like, that's just from being in kind of a rush. I'm just being like, oh, this sounds good, keep going, you know? But also some of the kick drum sounds like, let's see, like this one, I don't have any of the low end in, so that's not competing. This is some of the low end carved out. But yeah, this one actually has more than I expected. And also part of the reason for this, I didn't mix this one. So I'm sure when Steve Veely mixed most of the record, and he did an amazing job, he probably muted some of those.
Okay.
I'm like 90% sure any mixing engineer would open this and be like, "Ugh, who did like, why did the producer do this?" So don't. I think layering drums is cool, but maybe don't do this.
Start small.
Yeah, start small. Like, because honestly, I think it should be more like 3 max, and you get like, a crunchy mid-range one, a sub-kick one, and then a snappy top-end one, and that's all you really need. I think this ended up working out just because it was like a little bit, because everything is just bashing that 4 on the floor. It almost didn't matter as much, and as long as it sounded good at the end, it sounded good. But that's the full drum thing. And as far as the drum processing, it was pretty simple. I just have this multi-band compression, which I use a lot, and that's, it's nice because it's squashing all that room noise. And that's kind of what I want from the kit, And then it's just adding a little bit of natural, push and pull to the beat that's otherwise very on the grid. Let's see. So drums were pretty hard hitting. That was always the goal. And probably too many layers. That's what we just learned. Bassline obviously was everything in this. And it was a challenge because we were switching between that like 808 and then the very obvious chorus, which gets even bigger in the post-chorus because there's sort of this post-chorus reintro section. Yeah. I added this sort of triangle wave. This is another silent patch. But it's cool. It just had a little bit of buzz. And then Lauren, your part. This is the fun, like, very plucky. So again, if
this was a rubbing the head and the tummy at the same time kind of thing, because to play that pattern while singing Body Heat, it was difficult.
Almost impossible. That's another thing that was just bringing back.
I probably almost did it every time.
I think it was so hard because I remember it's body heat. Yeah. See how hard it is, everybody? Don't try that at home. It's just the what makes that couldn't be more syncopated, and Body Heat is pretty straight ahead.
Right.
So that's the recording magic of it all, Yeah, that was not easy. By camera. So that was the pluck thing. And again, that's this great serum patch combined with a Tal Uno Lux Juno, which, is just a fun one. Oh, don't freeze. Okay. Couldn't recommend this synth more. There's a serum patch, and then I think there might be.
I think more. I think you can rent to own serum
on Splice.
Splice.
Ooh, that would make sense. Yeah, if you ever want to try out these plugins, I think you can. Yeah, I think that's actually, it might be how I got into it originally. I can't remember if I saw it there.
Yeah, actually, because we did that Splice thing and they let us try stuff.
I got that from that.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's talk. So arrangement on this one, I think overall was really fun because the verses are all about being sparse so that your vocal can really be front and center. As I can.
Cold night and you're pulling me back into bed. You said, don't leave just yet. It's past that time for goodbyes, but you're pouring more wine than me. You had my keys. The only reason that you hold me.
Bring up those lyrics.
Is that you're scared of being lonely.
Lonely.
Don't even try to get to know me. You only want me for my body heat.
Always intense there when you get to Body Heat.
Body heat.
Lauren, can you talk a little bit more about what is this song about to you?
Well, this song was definitely like a kind of more of a story song, not necessarily like a personal journey song,
Yeah.
but it was really just kind of the idea of how people use each other sometimes. In like a bad way and also in a fine way. It's like all up to you, really, how you want to be with other people. Um,
It's true.
but yeah, sometimes we're just like hanging out with each other because we don't want to be by ourselves. And if that's okay with both of you, then that's cool. But sometimes it's not, and that's just kind of what the song was about.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice because it
Um,
fit in a good place in the record too, I think, in terms of just like, full blooming. Becoming
yeah,
comfortable
like
with who you are,
yeah,
knowing you.
exactly.
Yeah.
And just recognizing that like this is kind of how it is, and if I decide to be okay with it, then that's my prerogative, but also I don't have to be okay with it if I'm not into it.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
You know? And so these are the lyrics. I think because that it was such a strong message from the very get-go, it was fun to keep that verse really sparse. And I think live we do it even sparser, where Lauren, you're just basically playing the intro freely, like synth vocal, and that's it until that pre-chorus comes in with the 808 drops. But I'll just mute the vocals for a sec so you guys can hear the instrumental. But it's basically a Juno. Yeah, originally there was a piano. There's actually no piano anymore at all in those verses. We ended up taking it out, and it's just bass line, Juno synth, and guitar. Sassy. A nice little secret with that guitar is it's just super filtered with a very simple, it's just me playing in, probably with a standard amp. Yeah, this is just, it's called atmospheric guitar. But then filter it, there's all the vibe, and it fit nicely against the, just like a little bit of that rhythm creeping in at the intro. So it's basically that guitar and this Juno bass. Hello, Argentina and Turkey. Wow. All over the world. And this main Juno. And then it opens up from there into the 808. Oh yeah, I want to talk. There was a really fun, pretty sure this is just a print of a cool Juno pad. Let me see if I can open that bad boy up. Oh, no, I can't because it was real audio. So that's just that Juno bad boy over there. Set a long release, set the resonance envelope, slow decay, and it creates that sort of wow, sort of like an auto filter. I loved bringing that part in there because it kind of played off of the rhythm of the vocal.
Yeah, it was nice.
This is where the piano creeps in. Same piano I always use, everybody. Spitfire felt piano. The best of the best. Instant vibes. So that was kind of nice too, as a little bit of a twist against the synthetic sort of verse. So it's sub kick, sub bass. And one thing, this was actually a fun learning experience in terms of mixing and producing out with 808s, which are basically just pure. They're basically sine waves that are filtered in a way. So I was using particularly this, it's called abstract bass contact instrument, layered low, I think low here, and higher. Yeah, distorted. If you're going to use 808s, always saturate at least the mid-range, because otherwise you only can ever hear those notes on a really big stereo system, and it'll sound terrible anywhere else. So if you can, like what I'm doing here, I'm EQing I have a layer that's EQ'd just to push those upper mids around 1 and 2K, and then a Devil Lock, which is a Sound Toys Destroyer distortion plugin, and it creates this kind of vibe. You see, it's really accenting the transient, which is the snap at the front of the waveform. So combined, it makes for a much fuller, full spectrum 808 sound. And I learned that by watching YouTube videos. True story. And the other thing I would recommend always with 808s, which I learned, I think, a lot through doing this, is you're going to want to layer it with some kind of kick drum so that it really snap through the transients. So what I did here was just this crunch kick layered in the same timing. And this way, those things actually cut through in the mix, which you can hear here. Let's talk vocal treatment. So
Let's do it.
Fun thing with this song, and I think with any song where there's space, there's a lot of space when you get to that chorus, and there's almost like a call and response. I mean, there is a call and response, and there's Lauren's sort of very present, kind of personal, intimate center vocal performance, and then there's sort of this like sampled, almost like, it feels like a little bit like a house music sort of phrase cut of body heat in the chorus. And we really wanted that to feel different. I think, Lauren, you especially were like, keep making it weirder.
Yeah, I was like, add more layers,
Because originally,
harmonies.
Yeah, I mean, I think to some extent with such a stylized phrase like that too, it's like you want to sort of go for it in terms of the vocal production. And if it was just like, you only want me for my body heat with one vocal, it wouldn't have been the same. So essentially, just if it was just your vocal or my vocal, which, let's see, this is what the three of us sound like together.
You only want me for my body heat.
Which, that's cool, but I'm not like getting out of my chair and dancing yet, Right. So what we ended up doing was a really fun layer. I think mostly you, Lauren, just these body heat throws, and we really tuned them to sound almost like robotic and compressed them a lot too. So they were really going to sit very present in the mix left and right. So you have this.
Body heat.
This one.
Body heat.
Harmonies.
Body heat.
Then mine. Body heat. Is that me?
I don't know, actually.
That's a you. That's a you just with Alter Boy. For those of you that don't know, this is the plugin that's pop music. I
love the Alter Boy plugin.
It's incredible. I mean, it basically adds formants, which I don't even know how to describe what a formant is. There's someone here, I'm sure, who could do that better than me. But formants are essentially, I mean, here's what that sounds like. And then you put the formant down an octave. Basically creates that really unique sort of, it sounds pitch shifted, but it's actually not. It's just like doing something to the EQ or the filter. It's really cool.
When I'm writing something myself and I don't know if it sounds good or not because I can't hear my own voice, I put the Alter Boy on it so that it's like I'm listening to somebody else.
It's an instant different person. It can be creepy.
Yes, that's true too. But
I think those were harmonies. All three of those are Alter Boys. So when you add them together, it sounds like this. So it's a harmony too. Then I think a couple. Yeah, really strong. So all together, especially those are being sent to like a splashy delay reverb. You get something like this. Oh, sorry. There's actually three more down here, which are probably even stronger. Yeah, those are the low harmonies. So every single time body heat hits, there's Lauren's lead vocal dead center, which is a continuation sort of the story. And then there's this that hits you really wide and really compressed. Body heat. Boom, boom, down, boom, 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 boom.
body heat.
Every single time. Those sound good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then we have this little phrase chop at the end, which is just Lauren's chopped up vocal with EQ, auto-tune, compression, alter boy, decapitator. The magical combination. So many vocal parts, but it sounds like this. Ba ba body heat. Which is pretty fun. So now if you want to hear that full chorus with all those effects, it sounds like this.
You only want me for my body heat. Body heat. Half asleep, think you got me confused.
Second verse is really fun because that's always a challenge. I think this came back to, again, the kind of Sylvanesso method, which was like, let's make the music kind of completely different, you know?
Yeah.
And this one was fun because we kind of played with this. It was kind of built all around a Memory Moog sample, which is right here. This is actually a real Memory Moog performed and double tracked just to make even more chorused. With a little bit of a dotted eighth note echo boy. This is it without the dotted. The dotted just kind of gives it a little bit more groove because it's a pretty dry. So with the echo boy, there it is.
Do you have that Memory Moog still, or is it gone?
It's back there. Yeah, I just don't play it much.
Cool.
The Memory Moog is alive and well. I shan't be selling that one. And then I think it's just, this is just a Prophet bass filtered underneath that to give it a little bit of a different. And I think the beat actually opens up completely here. So this is really fun. Guitar comes back. Same, now it's a piano instead of a synth in the second verse, and I'll just mute Lauren's voice. More altar boy. Who can take a guess if that is me or Lauren? It's $1 million question.
I want to say it's me, but I can also hear you doing that.
Let's see. That's a Lauren.
That's me, like being a little bit pop starry.
It's your diva impression.
Yeah, my like Celine Dion.
So once you alter that, which is really cool, and it sits in the mix in a really nice sort of, phrased out. Pre-chorus number 2.
Would you hold me? Is it you're scared of being lonely?
And I think from there, that development was pretty much some simple repetition for that section. But the second chorus was fun because that's where everything kind of changes up, and there's the full, I'll just kind of play. Oh yeah, it's different. Where's your?
She's scared of
Oh, it's down there. Sorry.
me confused.
So I'm just gonna show you guys the vocals for the second chorus because it's really fun. There's a lot of layers, and I want to talk about the effects.
Only want me for my body heat. Is that all you want from me? Body heat. I think you're using me. When you're begging me not to leave you, I know it's skin deep. I see you. Body heat. That's all you want from me.
A lot of stuff going on there, but it all feels pretty cool. I think the chorus is really fun because it's just such a powerful, it's like kind of perfectly in your power zone of your range, so you're able to like really sing into all the phrases. And we did a bunch of layers for that.
Is that all you want from me?
but really tightly
I think you're
edited.
using me when you're begging me not to leave you. I know it's skin deep, I see you. Body heat, that's all you want from me.
I always say, but, if you're going to layer vocals, really be conscious of your editing, because especially with S's or with consonants, as soon as there's two, unless you're going for a very sloppy group vocal thing, which is a totally different approach, of course. Mm-hmm. But for something like this, which needs to be, pretty strong and pop, and, it's a very strong melodic figure. So you want that chorus, you want that main melody to be very locked in. And I'm sure there's even little things that I missed, but edit your vocals is my point, especially with stuff like this.
Yeah, but it's also it's helpful when the person singing them, not to pat myself on the back, but
100%.
to do as good of a job as possible before getting to the editing part.
Totally. Yeah. Step one is actually singing it, nailing the parts,
The
and not
double.
just moving
Yeah.
on, I mean, I think that was part of the reason for some of these songs feeling, I felt particularly good about these in terms of production, like productions feeling complete, because we had these demos that we then came back to our studio here and redid almost everything, and so we were able to be like, we knew what we needed for this chorus, and so when we finally recorded these vocals, it was like you were nailing them. And then even on the repeats here, I mean, as you can tell, I say edit them, but if you look at it, not edited, 2 edits, you know what I mean, because you sang it exactly the same.
Yeah.
So that stuff goes a long way. And then there's sort of multiple parts going on here. Mr. Marzano says, virtual hugs from Italy. You guys are the coolest. That is very nice. Thank you. And someone also said, Lauren. I don't know if Lauren sees all the comments. That's why I'm relaying them.
No, I'm not seeing them, so thank you.
Some good ones. Again, hello to everyone for tuning in and hanging out. It's Paul and Lauren here from Savoir doing a little session breakdown. If you have any questions at all, wow, someone on Twitch just asked if we want to be famous, but I think that's a scam.
No, thanks.
No thanks.
No,
We're good.
thanks.
We're gonna stay not famous. It's
Anonymous.
fine. So we have the main melody that kind of carries through all this, and then this nice response. I always love doing these with you, Lauren, because like when we actually ended up doing a whole splice pack. For those of you that don't know, you can also work with Lauren's beautiful
You
vocals.
can.
Or just hire her. Either or.
You can do both.
You can do both. But it's funny because now whenever there are parts in these songs, I think about like the fact that I have a Lauren, in addition to the fact that it's on Splice, but we put this together, I have a Lauren sample pack just like on my desktop, which
Your
is so
own
funny.
sample pack?
Yeah, well, basically. But I
Yeah.
also end up using the Splice pack, which is so funny because we'll be like writing a song and then Lauren we'll end the session or something and I'll be adding stuff and I'm like, I need Lauren to do like a breath. And I'm like, I guess I'll just use Lauren's sample pack, which is basically like this, But that's like, you crush those, if I do say so myself. So this is really cool. This is, again, just a layered of, we want it to be as lush. This is just, from the microphone, which is already pretty delivered, very as breathy and light. But then, especially with these longer things, it's just like, you want to process them so they can sit in the mix in a really like dreamy way. So again, the Alter Boy is really, really fun for that. And I think what I have here is, it's just mixed. That's something to keep in mind if anyone is using this plugin. You don't always have to use it at 100%, because at 100% it sounds like this. Sorry, it sounds like this. Sounds like, oh. But you can mix it in so that it's actually just partially, it's like 50% affecting the quality of the vocal. And especially when you send that to a reverb, it just creates a little bit of this like otherworldly. Yeah, there's like almost like a spooky, there's another Lauren inside of Lauren just trying to get out, singing her way to freedom. So layered together, and that's kind of the response of these choruses. until the second half. So we'll play those two together. This is a really fun one to talk about because I feel like a lot of the other songs, we don't have quite as much like deliberate vocal production, or layers.
Yeah. This one
Yeah.
was very specifically like the most kind of, I don't know if even pop is the right word, but it's just like,
Certainly pop in terms of the vocal production, I'd say,
yeah.
which sometimes, it's a fine line to walk. And then obviously too, when you're sort of an indie pop band, there's this, do you go over the top in terms of making the vocals so super polished to the point where they lose character, but I think this was a really happy medium because there's such interesting stuff going on, but it's still, I don't think we could make these any tighter or punchier, but basically, yeah, it's the lead melody, it's that, and then it's obviously the body heats. So the three combined, again, get us here.
Body heat, is that all you want from me? Body heat, I think you're using me. When you're begging me not to leave you, I know it's skin deep, I see you. Body heat, that's all you want from me.
Oh yeah, that was a lucky accident, is that the last there is just the first reversed.
Ah.
It's just reversed.
Yeah.
And it worked out. And obviously we have that cool chopped up thing at the end too, which is just this guy down here. Which is a good time. That's a real good time. Bridge. The bridge on this one is kind of weird.
Yeah, kind of funky.
It's your fault.
It is my fault.
Let's see. I feel like every time we play this live, there's like at least a half an hour of me and Lauren trying to figure out these chords again.
What is this chord? Yeah.
Because I think you were just like improvising or something. And it's cool because it's actually here now, right? So we can listen to it. But they're pretty cool chords. There's like these weird diminished slash chords. With like a 9. Where is it? No idea. I would.
They're actually, to like a music person, they're probably not even that weird, but they're just not like obvious.
Like even with my keyboard camera on. Oh yeah, you don't see my keyboard camera, Lauren, right?
No.
Even with the keyboard camera, I was like, what would I even play? There's no point. I would just embarrass myself. Yeah, it's a tricky. I'm sure, we're obviously half joking because we have to figure it out. But I don't know if to this day, I ever actually learned the chords. Like even when we were on this midnight tour, I would sort of just like turn away from Lauren and just let her take it. And like this song of all the tracks too is like, it's just, it's got a heavy beat underneath it. No one notices if I just stop playing for 4 minutes, but
unless I do that same thing,
Yeah.
and then neither one of us plays the chords.
then we're in trouble. In trouble. So let me play this bridge. Unfortunately, this was an older bounce. I couldn't find the files. I couldn't find your harmonies for some reason. I don't know if we added them later.
Weird.
But you'll still hear. I'm gonna mute everything, actually, all the vocals first, and then we'll take it from there. So it's a cool bridge. Yeah, again, I think there's just I'm pretty sure that's jazz, so I can't really comment on it. But
I will say this was also kind of like a cheeky bridge where it was almost like, is that too cheesy to say?
right.
Like we're talking about body heat, and the last line is like, what is the last line?
So I had a dream about it, babe. Think I'm gonna walk away. I don't think I want to stay. Every night I close my eyes, tired of asking myself, why are you
so cold? Why are you so cold? And I just like, don't know if that's even good or not, but I thought it was brilliant in the moment. I still think it's pretty good.
I think it's pretty. It's a nice. It's just a nice wink, you know.
Yeah, it's a wink, exactly.
It's a fun wink. No, I love this bridge, and also because, you know, you often I think bridges are, in songwriting in general, bridges are kind of funny, and even people joke around in songwriting sessions where you're like, do you write a bridge or not, and like, does it matter? And then you talk about the throwaway bridge. But what's nice about this is it's actually very functional, and it has a fun little wink of a message, and it sets us, you know, it especially sets us up for the solo, which
Right.
I miss so dearly.
Which yeah. Oh, you should have pull up the video. You should have pulled
I
up
think
the
we
video.
should. We could. Let's pull that up at the end, and we'll show everybody the full synth solo glory. But yeah, the vocal. We were just talking about those lyrics, so let me pop these in. And there is supposed to be a harmony, and I'm sad that it just wasn't loading before. So, but this is.
Had a dream about it, babe. Think I'm gonna walk away. Every night I close my eyes, tired of asking myself why. Are you so cold? Body heat, is that all you want from me?
So when we were adapting this for live, we actually we have that little synth bass drop, and then it launches into, should I just play it for everybody now? Maybe I should. Let me see. I'm just going to load this. It'll be easy to find. Body Heat, Savoir, Door. What do we call it? The stay-at-home sessions. So we're going to show you guys how we reimagined this. And this is basically how we do it live. I mean, the only difference, obviously, would be that we were in the same room at the same time.
Right.
Cold, cold night and you're pulling me back into bed. You said, don't leave just yet. It's past that time for goodbyes, but you
We sort of crushed this one.
know why you hide my keys. The only reason that you hold me is that you're scared of being lonely, lonely. Don't even try to get to know me. You only want me for my body heat. Body heat. You're half asleep, think you got me confused.
I'm just going to fast forward to the solo.
Somebody
Do it.
So we did a bunch of these early on in the quarantine days. So here it comes on the solo. Bridge.
Had a dream about it, babe. Think I'm gonna walk away. Don't think I wanna stay. Every night I close my eyes, tired of asking myself why. Are you so cold? Body heat, is that all you want from me? Body heat, I think you're using me.
So then on
When you're
to
begging me not to leave you,
the
I'm
last
asking if I
chorus.
see
So we do that live, which, you know, again, it is totally awesome and fun that it is just something we do live. But every time I listen to the song now, which I bump it sometimes on our Saturday night dance party DJ sets, which you would all tune into. But I miss that synth solo. So it's interesting always to kind of look back at that. And obviously this version, which is the synth bass drop followed by the big last chorus, totally works too. But yeah, live, it's really fun. Someday we might even do it again.
Yeah.
And I think that, there's one more layer there, which is this bass here. Yeah, adds an extra layer. See, the last chorus of those two choruses, the actual phrasing changes. So whereas in the first chorus it actually goes, wait, how does it go? Let me show you. Bassline changes, guys.
Body heat.
That's it. Changes slightly. I'm just really excited about my new camera. I'm going to put it away now. So the last chorus really, again, just launches out of that bridge. There's, I think, some extra layers, there's extra bass layer. And really the only other thing here to mention is that there's that nice post-chorus with the guitar lick, which is sort of like a nice little additional post-chorus hook, which, you know, it's kind of fun to play around with the idea of like a drop because it's so prevalent in like EDM music, but in indie rock, there's no reason why you can't borrow from that structurally, you know? So it's kind of fun to have this like guitar riff after a chorus. And I'll just, when I can find it, I'll play it. Re-intro, that's what I called it. Down somewhere? Why would it be all the way down there? Is it not here? There it is. And I think I actually ended up filtering it less for the final mix, but it's basically just really high up on the neck with nice lush delay and reverb. Little harmony. And that ends up coming back at the end too. I think we wrote like maybe we had another song out in LA that had a similar like guitar, the tune we wrote about Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, yeah.
Which
I still really like that song. I don't know if anyone will ever hear it.
Hopefully. The world deserves to hear that song. And you did hear that right. It's about Timothy Chalamet.
Called it Timothy Chalamet, but the lyrics were not Timothy Chalamet.
That's right. The lyrics had nothing to do with Timothy Chalamet. It just fit. But I think we were sort of into this idea of like a almost tropical-esque electric guitar part over it. And, you know, it just works too because the song at that point, that chorus is so hard-hitting. So to have this kind of nice little post-chorus guitar flow.
Body heat, that's all you want from me.
Yeah. And so the last chorus is basically that. I mean, I feel like because the chorus only happens once before the bridge here, I think our general idea was like, let's just add a couple little bells and whistles, but not change too much because it wanted just a full chorus. So as you can see here, the big last chorus, it's really not all that different. The drums, it's a new drum take there. It's not looped. Samples are looped. There's an additional layer of a synth bass. I mean, again, it's all minor stuff, but I think it just makes it feel a little bit different. So the synth bass gets that buzzier. And then for the post-chorus, I added an additional hit. Has that fun little hit there on the end. And then the end, there's some fills. Let's see how that sounds. Wow. Okay, that's kind of spazzy. Wow. Big fan of that. Let's reuse that. What's this guy? Oh yeah, that's a fun swell. So that is Omnisphere. Oh, I shouldn't try to open that. That's going to crash. It's an Omnisphere plugin. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's just... Yeah, this is literally a saw square wave that just opens up. So it's you could do this with any synth. But then it has a Valhalla Ubermod to make it wide and chorused, and it's being sent to the reverb. But I love that part because that actually swells into the next section. So it's like drum fill. Love this ending. That's when we get people clapping live. So yeah, that is the original Silent bass, which I think has such a cool character to it. I don't know if I could actually. Oh, you know what? I can. I'm pretty sure I can actually open that one. And if it at this point, if it crashes, we'll just call it a day.
Yeah.
Which is fine. So this is the original synth bass that sort of inspired the whole idea. If you have Silent at home, pretty sure it's just a simple... Oh my God. There it is. Let's see if I can get it without crashing. Yes.
Ooh.
It's a really, really good sound. I don't know if it was a... I guess this, yeah, it starts from this preset, 357. Let me just mute this. Yeah, so it is just this preset. Again, fun recommendation. Try it out sometimes. If you like a sound, just throw a filter on it, because that's all most synths do anyway. So down an octave. So that was the original sound, but then filtered. There's a little bit of a delay, which is why it's really hard to play. And then I have this McDSP ML4 to sort of squash the sound. So really fun synth patch. Yeah, it's basically just preset 357 key icicle in... I have to open it through this plugin because it's Pro Tools, but it's just Silent plugin, which is a pretty straight up plugin. Filter, and then that. And that is the kind of main fun bass of this song, which kind of inspired the whole chorus idea.
Yeah.
Lauren, anything else?
I don't think so, other than just highlighting that I think usually most of the time the songs that I like the best are the ones that you and I write with each other, but this is an example of a song that I really was super happy with that we wrote with someone else, which was just a different kind of interesting experience. So yeah. Amy Cooney, she has her own project called Ames, which is cool.
Check it out
too.
She's an unbelievable writer. Pretty incredible. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. This is really fun. And for those of you that know our record, we actually wrote Late to the Party with her as well, which was, I think, it was really fun because within 2 trips to LA, which were really only like 20 days total, we wrote Late to the Party,
Slow Motion, Body Heat,
It's Gonna Be All Right, New Moves. So that's 5. And we wrote those like while we were there. So sometimes you just got to take a little retreat, a little trip.
Exactly. And just focus. Yeah.
It's
someday we'll be able to do that again.
Yeah. Someday soon, I hope.
Yeah.
So that was Body Heat. Everyone who tuned in, thank you so much. You can always watch this later on YouTube as well. We'll be back this weekend. I don't know what we're going to do next. It was funny. There was another song that I was just thinking about earlier today that we got to do. But again, I think, Lauren, we should also do our session sometime soon. We should do our live session and just see what happens. If anyone wants,
totally.
You can just watch us experiment and try and come up with a new idea. So maybe that's what we do next week or the week after. We'll see.
Yeah.
See how we feel. But yeah, leave us a note, leave us a message, give us a follow if you haven't yet. We have been Paul and Lauren from Savoir. We'll see you guys soon. Should I play? I'm gonna play Body Heat one more time just to send off the crew, and we'll sign off that way. Should I play? I wish we had a live recording of this from the European tour because it was so fun. Should I just show them the highlight reel?
I feel like that would be fun.
Yeah, because that actually is set to this song.
Body Heat, right? Yeah.
The first one or maybe the first one? Let's see. We got two of them. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. YouTube. It's okay. You're all hanging out. Oh, hi. Heike from Germany says hello. Hello, Heike. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but thanks for tuning in again. Let's see. EU tour, Savoir Adore. I'm just looking this up to show you guys a fun little highlight. I think this is the one with... Whoa, that's just some commercial that popped up. Commercial. Oh no, you know what? I think this one... That's Giants.
Oh.
We didn't...
Never mind.
Let's see, part 1. Sorry, everybody. I thought we had the clip of with the synth solo and stuff, but in fact, we do not.
Well, there were 2 parts. Is the first part not that?
You know, I never put the first part on YouTube.
Oh.
So much goes into being a band, guys. It's YouTube, Instagram, editing videos on a bus at 4 a.m., sharing them, and then starting from scratch when the graphic is wrong or something. I'll just play this one, though, this was fun. So, we talked a lot about this, but this was a tour we did last year with a great band called The Midnight. It was just Lauren and I as a duo, so we really, kind of reimagined a lot of these songs. But Body Heat worked really well like this, especially. So I'm just going to play this little highlight reel. You'll hear in it, this is actually a cool remix that Leno did of our song Giants. So we'll leave on this note, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
There's Lauren at the Louvre.
Go to the bathroom. You want a what?
Oh yeah, that's over. Oops. Don't go on to the next one. Oh, it's trying to start the video I'm already doing. What's even going to happen if that happens? It's going to... Oh, God.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where is it? Can everyone still hear me? All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Heike asks, will you also be at the next Midnight Tour? We will not. Hopefully we'll get to tour with them again someday. I think it will happen eventually, and hopefully we'll get to tour with a lot of different people eventually. Because we really, as you can tell, we really do miss playing shows a lot. It's been, this is pretty much the longest I think either of us have ever gone without playing a show. So on that note, thank you again to everybody for tuning in. Drop us a note. Let us know if you have any requests for a session breakdown for next week or any of these weeks. We're going to try keep doing new things. And we'll see you soon. Bye.